Well, this was a real pile of shit. Let's rank this film on the Cageometer.
All right, that leads us over to the most important question that we ask on this show. Vince, arbitrarily, till the end of time, where does... What the hell is the name of this movie? Outcast from 2014. Rate on your Cageometer.
I want to start by offering my sincere apology to everybody that worked on Firebirds. I regret my review of your film because this movie is fucking garbage and makes your film look like a masterclass, like an Oscar-worthy film. So please forgive me. If I could go back in time, I would change my score because you didn't deserve it. This movie genuinely deserves a 0. Just genuinely. Just I
Are you giving it a 0?
Yeah, I'm giving this movie a 0.
Wow.
Oh, terrible. And I know it's hard. I know that's harsh because everything I learned, but they should have never put this movie out.
You think this movie is worse than Arsenal?
Oh God, yeah. At least Arsenal was entertaining.
All right. Yeah.
I genuinely think this is a 0. The story is bland. The way it's shot is terrible. Again, like back-to-back movies that gave me motion sickness, but this was 10 times worse because they were just, like Nigel said, the frame rates were just all over the fucking place, along with the shaky cam. The acting was god-awful. The Prince Chow had no emotions, nothing. Even on his face, it was always just a blank look. He never showed any emotions. I didn't give two shits whether any of these characters lived or died. The writing was awful. Everything about this movie is terrible. I do feel bad for shitting on it because of the restraints that they had, but then just don't put the movie out. It's a fucking terrible movie. Just don't put it out. Don't torture us. Cage, I can't give him a 0 because I feel like that'd be a real dick move on my part. I'll give him a 2 because at least his character was weird and wacky and I think what kind of gives me a little brings his performance up a little bit. It's just I did feel like the relationship between him and his wife was genuine, and I think a lot of that had to do with just some of the emotion that he showed on his face. Mm-hmm. But still, like he's hardly in the fucking movie, really, if you think about it, and is terrible. Like he can't keep an accent to save his fucking life. He's doing weird shit with snakes. He's doing weird things, drinking. We always talk about he always does something weird with food or beverage. Mm-hmm. But just overall, like you could have replaced him with anybody, probably would have been the same fucking performance because it's just there's nothing there on paper. So what are you really gonna do? I don't know. Just I'll give it him a 2. Giving the movie a 0. You guys might think that's too harsh, but God, this movie fucking sucks. I'd rather watch Arsenal, Dark, Dying of the Light.
Oh damn.
I'd watch Firebirds again before I watch this fucking movie.
You do Prisoners of the Ghostland.
Prisoners of the Ghostland, all those shit movies.
Wow. Okay. That's intense. That's our first 0 ever given out on this show.
How is that even going to help? That's going to mess with the score. Like it's not because the percentage wise, average.
Yeah, I guess we never
it's not
talked
going
about
to bring it down.
Zeros?
It's just going to negate your score.
No, it'll just never go up. It'll just stay in one spot. So I think it's fine.
All right. I can give it a 1.
I feel like a 0 is real. Like, if you feel like it's a 0, then give it a 0.
Well, because I guess we never really talked about can we give 0s? Because if we if we can't because we don't want to mess up the thing, then it's a 1. I guess either way, it's a shitty fucking movie.
It won't mess it up.
No,
it's a statement.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't feel comfortable giving a movie a 0 because it would have to not be a movie. I mean, that's the old I learned that from X-Play. That's their rating system for video games was 1 out of 5, and they said they never go less than a 1 because that's the bare minimum. Like it has to be a game to be a 1. So that's why I feel like a 1 is the lowest for my scale.
I mean, overall, it'll work itself out. Anyways, that leads us over to Nigel. Where does Outcast rate on your Cageometer?
Like I said, I went right from recording Firebirds to watching Outcast, and it immediately made me want to go back and just like, please let me watch Firebirds again instead of this. And Firebirds sucks. So this is Yeah, this is an awful film. Legitimately awful. The shining point for me, the high point is Hayden Christensen. And I say this as a fan of Hayden Christensen. When Hayden Christensen is the high point of your movie, it is a terrible movie. And I don't think it's a good Hayden Christensen performance either. And I don't think he's that, like, I don't think he's that talented. He's okay, but this is definitely, this is a worse performance than anything you see of him in the prequels, I think.
Yeah.
It's more subdued and maybe a little bit more human, but it is just so boring and bland. And there's no, I guess this isn't his opportunity to show his acting chops. It could have been, I suppose, but it could have been a slog. This is, I give this a 2. And the only reason I'm giving it a 2 is because some of the scenery was cool because they filmed on location, and that takes dedication, I guess. They could have shot this whole thing on a soundstage or in a trailer park like Arsenal or whatever the fuck. Or whatever house they have to have access to. They built a couple of sets and they filmed outside. They tried to. The director did what he could with what he had. I think he mentioned he never even smiled during this production because it was such a hellacious, production stuff. So I'm giving him a little bit of leeway with that. But God damn, this is so. Yeah, this is not a fun movie in any sense. Like, some of the action's good, but like I said, it's the only movie I've watched that I actually got motion sick from. That's an achievement from a guy supposedly gifted with filming action scenes. He's worked on like 100 movies or some ridiculous. Yeah. I don't know. Wasn't that as a action director?
A lot of really good ones too.
Yeah. So that's why I feel like, he's probably not the best director, but I feel like he was also not given the best deck of cards to deal with while filming this. So to the quality of the movie, it's long, it's too long, it's too boring, it's too dull. The story sucks. The acting's terrible from pretty much everybody. Yeah. So sorry, I was looking forward to seeing a different Hayden Christensen performance, and even he was just that accent. Oh my God.
I put this movie in specifically for you because I knew that you wanted to watch this movie. That's why we're watching it this season.
Yeah, no, it's awful. So yeah, Cage's performance, same thing. It's like a 2. I'm going to give it a 2 because he's somehow worse than Hayden Christensen, and by trying to do more, he just makes it worse.
Yeah.
And, some of the reviews that I saw for this mentioned he was the only high point, and I disagree. I feel like the movie got worse every time he was in one of the scenes because it was just so stupid and distracting, like his squinty eye and his terrible accent. And
hair.
The hair, the fact that he plays 2 different characters, like from the little we see of him in the opening to whatever the fuck he's doing as the white ghost is just, what the hell? It is not a Cage performance. I mean, this is that middle of the 2010s, like you said. This is kind of that period where he was just, everything he did was just kind of slog. I don't know. This is the dark period, I guess, of Cage films.
Yeah.
And
it seems like there's a lot of them too. We're going to get to them.
So
we've done some of them like Arsenal and stuff like that, but
yeah, leave it Arsenal. I think I gave Arsenal a 1, if I remember right. Maybe it was a 2, but I feel like this is worse than Arsenal. But
I think we all gave it a 1.
Yeah. There was a little more effort put into this, I think, than Arsenal, which is why I'm giving it a slightly higher score. Not to grade it on a curve with the other movies, but this movie had it had something going for it, I guess. Didn't execute it, but it was there. And like I mentioned before, Hayden Christensen's pretty good at action. I felt like he knew how to swing a sword and actually fight people, which is more than I could say for most everybody else in this movie. I mean, the guys that knew Kung Fu, I guess, or martial arts, feel could fight, but it was definitely more convincing than Cage getting up there and swinging his sword around and fighting and stuff. So, yeah. It's just, oh my God, this movie sucks. I don't want to band-aid about it anymore.
Put that on the poster. Oh my God, this movie sucks. On my Cageometer, I'm not going to harp on it. Same thing. Like, oh my God, what a bad movie. I gave it a 2. And the reason I gave it a 2, the sets were pretty well done. The cinematography, I didn't think was that bad in certain areas. Anytime there was action, oh my God, I wanted to puke. Like, it was so hard to watch. It was like, I feel like it was less incoherent than Firebirds' helicopter chases, but it was just as sickening with the fucking movement and like random shots and stuff. This guy's a action director, and like this is what he came up with action. And good action takes time, so maybe he just didn't have time to put things together. Like guarantee that he had more time on Braveheart to put together the action sequences than he did on Outcast.
Well, maybe in that it's like that was his responsibility, or he was an assistant on it. Like that was what he was devoted to doing. This he's trying to run the whole thing.
He's trying to run everything
with a crew that's multinational, multilingual, and a different country with different ways of shooting stuff. So, yeah.
I think there were a lot of things working against them, and unfortunately, because this movie did so poorly and is so like forgotten, I don't think we're ever going to find out what all the story was behind the scenes. You know, a movie like Longlegs or something, like there's so much information out there to find because people actually give a fuck about it. But Outcast, nothing. And probably rightfully so.
For good reason. Yeah.
I thought the music was okay when it wasn't being racist, and Hayden Christensen's fighting, great. Like, that's what he does. That's what he does best. That's what he learned during those prequels, was like he was great in those battle scenes in the prequels. This one, he was great in what I could see and wasn't throwing up for. But yeah, just a bad movie overall. Story is so cliche and predictable and bad. And I hate the white savior trope. I've never been a fan of that. And, you know, that's not me being like some ally, you know, it's just like, it's just so done to death. Like, come on, dude. Yeah. The only two white guys in the entire place are the only ones who can save the fucking kingdom. Fuck off, dude. Anyways, I'll move over to Cage. I also gave him a 2. Like you said, he's plays 2 different characters, completely different. He plays 3-4 different characters, because at times he's like doing a completely different accent, and then sometimes it's more subdued, sometimes it's really over the top, but sometimes he's like really an asshole, and then he's like not, and like I don't know, man. It's just all over the place. I feel like this was a paycheck, and Cage wanted a free trip to the Far East out of this. Just a really, like, he really phoned it in for this one. And like, there are a lot of cagey moments, but they're all kind of like annoying and take you out of the moment. Like he's supposed to bring the levity to the third scene, or third act, but it's like to the point where you're just like, what the fuck is going on? Stop stumbling around. What are you squinting for? What the hell's with this haircut?
I want to go back to when the movie was just Hayden Christensen escorting these kids. Like,
that was a better movie.
Boring as that was.
Yeah. It was I mean, I say this all the time. When I watched the movie the first time, I was going to give it a 1, but rewatching it for the breakdown, I felt like there were a couple things that made me respect it a little bit more. A few of the lines were pretty good, and I thought Hayden Christensen was more. I humanized him more in the second go round, and I thought I thought his performance was better after watching it a second time. Cage, not so much though. So yeah. Just a bad movie, and I hope I never have to watch this one again.